How do you? This is John, and today we are talking about The Dark Knight, a superhero film from 2008, starring Christian Bale and directed by Christopher Nolan. And in The Dark Knight, Batman has been a superhero for Gotham for about a year now, and all of a sudden this new threat emerges from the criminal underworld. A new villain called the Joker has arrived and has started his reign of terror on the people of Gotham. So now Batman, Jim Gordon, and Harvey Dent all have to figure out a way to stop him. Okay, to get things started, first and foremost, what I love about this film. The Dark Knight is easily one of my favorite movies of all time. Period, end of discussion. And, one of the things that I love about this film is that not only is it a superhero movie, but it's also a cop detective movie. You see Bruce Wayne's detective skills just get full bore unleashed in this film. His ability to, find evidence in the most unlikely of places, but also the work he does with Jim Gordon and Harvey Dent to try and get not only the Joker, but the mob in general. Speaking of the Joker, I know this stuff has been said thousands and thousands of times over the years, but man, is the Joker like one true menace in this film. This version of the Joker is a complete terrorist. And, I just love what they do with him in this movie. Batman and Gordon literally underestimate him in the beginning. They literally look at the whole, this robbery that he does on a mob bank and just sit there and go, one man or the entire mob? Like, what's more important? Then not even an hour later, they immediately start to regret it. The Joker in this movie is inarguably probably the greatest villain of any 21st century movie. And yes, I'm being exclusive to just the 21st century, because the 20th century does have a few that I would argue are better, including the king of them all, Darth Vader. But so far, out of all of the movies made this century so far, I would argue that this movie's Joker is the greatest. And Heath Ledger, this is one of his final performances before he passed away. And man, did he deserve that Oscar. Heath Ledger gives his best performance in this movie throughout his entire career. And honestly, I cannot think of a better actor for the Joker. Now, I understand there have been other greats, like I love Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, and Jack Nicholson, did an absolute legendary performance in, Tim Burton's Batman as Joker. But Heath Ledger's Joker is just one of the greatest performances of all time. He's nuts. He's intimidating. He's kind of scary at times as well. And like I said, he deserved that Oscar. Now, tragically, Ledger passed away a few months before this movie was, premiered. And, this film is dedicated to his memory. And while I can't, speak for his other movies, no matter how good of a job he did in them, because he was a genuinely terrific actor. But I do think that, his performance in The Dark Knight, if it hasn't already, is going to go down in history. Easily one of the greatest acting performances of all time, in my opinion. From a visual standpoint, this movie's also aged really well. It's almost 20 years old now. And, just like with Batman Begins, some of the CGI, it doesn't hold up to 4K, but it's not bad. Also, the miniature work, the models, all of that, like, it holds up big time. Now, in terms of some of the other performances in the movie, I've already, given my thoughts about Heath Ledger. Aaron Eckhart, though, real dang good. Aaron Eckhart plays Harvey Dent. He is probably the best so far. Maybe we'll see better, I don't know. There have been other actors who have played Harvey Dent before. Billy D. Williams did. He played Harvey Dent in the first Tim Burton Batman. Kind of curious to see what he would have done when Harvey turned into Two-Face. But instead we got Tommy Lee Jones. Aaron Eckhart, however, was able to portray Harvey Dent in this way that you could tell the Two-Face, is just waiting to be unleashed. On one hand, Harvey seems like a real nice guy. On the other, there's clearly a demon waiting to be unleashed. And let's talk about that music. It's friggin' legendary. Just like with the first movie, James Newton Howard and Hans Zimmer worked together on the music in this film. It's legendary. There's no other way to describe it. I'm not kidding. It's just legendary. Especially with the end scene. The end scene's just so epic. And the music just improves on just how epic the end scene is. Now, I'm not going to get into any spoilers with how it ends, but let's just say everything was leading up to it, and it's probably the most perfect ending anyone could ever think of for a movie like this. So guys, at the end of the day, The Dark Knight is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love this film. There really isn't much I could think of that, I would change. Really, it's the only thing I can really think of is just this tiny thing that doesn't matter. Just this one tiny thing that pops up in one scene, and it doesn't really matter. I love this film. If you haven't seen it in the 17 years since it's been out, dude, do yourself a favor. Go watch this film. The Dark Knight is easily one of the best movies ever made and deserves a 10. One more review in my Dark Knight trilogy reviews coming to you next week. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please look forward to more videos real soon. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, please remember, the Bretsky Powder.